There's another attack on our food supply, but you're probably not going to guess coming from where. All right, guys. So there's another attack on our food supply, and there's an incoming attack that I feel is going to pop up within the next couple of weeks, if not a couple of months. But remember when I was talking about the whole tick explosion? There was a lot of ticks that seemingly across the entire North America, or excuse me, the United States, there's just this, barrage of ticks everywhere. And that being said, apparently here in North America, and that's Canada and here, there has been animals passing away because too many ticks have been on their bodies. In fact, ticks are draining their blood and they're dying from that. So this right now is happening in, I would say, northern United States, and a lot of the moose calves, I guess, or those baby moose, whatever you call them, they're passing away because their blood is being drained. Then you have deers that are also being affected by this as well. So now deer meat, a lot of people eat it. And then moose, I guess people eat that stuff. I'm not sure. And I know people eat bison, and bison are also running into their problem with ticks as well. But where I started seeing the red flags was, all right, we have this tick problem that came out of nowhere. A lot of us, around January, February, we saw this cold winter. And a lot of the nation had a cold winter, very cold. And we're thinking, oh, we're probably going to see less ticks this year because such a cold winter. Instead, we saw the reverse. Now, once I saw reports of tick season being bad this year, I already knew what was up. I knew that they were staging some nonsense. I knew that they were trying to get people sick or keep people out of the woods. But instead, they come to find out that a certain pharmaceutical company is releasing a Lyme disease vaccine. And that's slated for 2027. So now you got people who are going to get sick this year. People are going to develop Lyme disease, and they're going to create a customer base that now that they can rely on to take this Lyme disease nonsense that they're going to start giving out in 2027. Now, keep in mind, in 2002, they had a Lyme disease vaccine that didn't do well because there were not enough people wanting to take it. So they said, let's wait a couple of years. 20-something years later, 25 years later, by the time that new cure comes out, 25 years later, they said, we'll build a customer base by flooding the country with ticks. We'll release them in farms, we'll release them in the woods, and then people are going to be bit and have these things on them. They're going to develop Lyme disease, and then they're going to be able to take our product. Interestingly enough, guys, the tick season started a little earlier than it normally does. And again, there's a massive amount of ticks around. Now, back to the food problem, cows. We're going to start seeing a lot of farmers complain about ticks on their cows, an overabundance of ticks on their cows, especially calves. And it's going to drain their bloods, and they're going to start dying, and then we're going to have a shortage of red meat. I could almost bet my bottom dollar that this is going to happen. After I started seeing what was happening with the moose, bison, and deers and other animals being sucked dry of their blood. Now that means, guys, they have to have tens or hundreds of thousands of ticks on them, fully engorged, for them to run out of their blood, or have less supply of blood is why their body gives up. The animal's body gives up. Now, people are starting to complain about having ticks on them. In fact, my son's mother lives in Connecticut, had a tick attached itself to her oldest son because the dogs that frolic around in the backyard brought a couple inside the home. I didn't say one, I said a couple. They've never had that problem before. They've lived out there a few years now. Never seen that problem, never had that problem. But now the dogs are bringing these ticks or animals back into the home. These dogs jumped on the couch, and that's how the tick got on her older son. So now she had to strip her couch down. She had to do all of this shit to make sure that there were no more ticks in the furniture. She took the entire thing apart. Point, guys, is that this is a new problem, and this is undoubtedly being set upon us by the companies that want us to take their cure. Because again, create a problem, here's your solution. Your solution now is a customer-based solution where now you're going to make money off this thing that you didn't make money off of 20 years ago. And 20 years ago, they were like, oh, there's not enough people that want this. We're just going to have to shut it down. 25 years later, sorry, here they are. Now they got a new solution. Now they created a new problem. Now they have a new solution. And now a lot of people are scared to go into the woods because they don't want any of these ticks on them. Now, I've had in my lifetime over 12 ticks on me. One of them was Dave Canterbury's survival school. I think in that shot, I had like 6 on me. All right. Now, keep in mind, guys, you get one on you. It's not the end of the world. Don't flip out. Don't rip them out either. You have to pull them away from the skin a little bit and then down. So away and down a little bit. And that's how you get them out of your skin. Some people say put Dawn on it. Some people say Vaseline because it knocks their air out and it smothers them. I don't know. I've never tried that. The plucking technique works all the time. If you rip it out, you might get the head might get stuck, and now you have a problem. 48 hours, 43 to 48 hours, if it's been in there longer than that, you have the possibility of developing Lyme disease. But under that, you shouldn't. Now, if you are developing Lyme disease because you had it in for 30 seconds or 30 minutes, that means a lot of these ticks, which I think were genetically modified. Now, the genetically modified ticks, I think, are going to be given something called the alpha-gal syndrome. That's the syndrome that makes you allergic to red meats or certain bovine proteins. This is something that I did a video on already where this guy, this asshole, stated that they can use this to purposely make people allergic to red meat so that they don't have to ever eat red meat again. And that will cut down on consumption of red meat, which will cut down on growth of cows, which will then help with climate change. Keep in mind, they have data centers they're building all over the place that's definitely adding to the cause of climate change. All right. So our food, guys, is definitely going to be affected by this. You're going to start hearing about cows and being affected by this and cow shortage because it's only a matter of time right now. Again, more people are complaining about getting bit by ticks. You're probably going to see an uptick in Lyme disease towards the fall, if not winter of this year. And you're definitely going to start seeing cow shortages, not just because of the lack of cows that were raised because of Biden's nonsense a few years ago. We're going to start seeing cattle being affected by ticks, draining their blood and or getting them sick because cows can get sick when they're bitten by ticks as well. So this, guys, is going to be another problem added on top of more problems that they're just trying to give us. Now, what do we do with this? Try to stay with your local farmers, and your local farmers are probably going to be the ones experiencing this problem because they want those local farmers out, by the way. So the big corporations, they might not, or coincidentally, they won't have any tick issues, but you'll see local farmers. And if you do see the big companies with the tick issues, then they're really trying to cut down on red meat. Then they're really purposely trying to destroy the red meat market so that we eat less of it. Now, here's something even more interesting. The FDA just approved fake meat or lab-grown meat, which this meat, guys, I can almost guarantee is definitely going to cause a lot of medical issues within humans. But keep in mind that they've been trying this lab-grown meat for a couple of years now. The FDA just approved it. Not a lot, but a few restaurants are serving it, and they're even probably putting it out on the shelves to see whether or not we can tell the difference. So I find it interesting, guys, that they are creating an issue with ticks. They have an arm ticket for it, and now they're putting out fake meat. Now, this fake meat is cultured by cows, but I'm wondering if they're going to dial down the protein in this fake meat so that you can eat it and you can think that you're eating meat. Also, the FDA did also state that they can sell this meat as real meat or regular meat so that they don't have to label it lab-grown meat. All of this, guys, happening in the same, I guess, time frame is definitely telling. Now, this lab-grown meat, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. And if that's the only red meat we can eat, guess what I'm not eating? That. Because I can almost guarantee you that's going to accelerate a lot of medical ailments within people. Either way, guys, this is going to affect the red meat market. Whether you're allergic to red meat and now you can't eat it and now you can't buy it, and that means that they're going to cut down on red meat production, or they're going to get the cattle sick, which I think that's more likely with ticks draining their blood. Nonetheless, this is a real issue that they're starting to see out in the wild. Never mind when they start seeing it on farms, then we're really in trouble. And this is not a scare tactic. This is not for you guys to get nervous and well, why are you trying to scare us? Look at the pattern. All I'm doing is identifying the pattern and bringing it to you on here. That's all I'm doing. Other than that, guys, this is The Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.